There we go. I believe we're good to go. Mic is now plugged in. I didn't even have anything set up for that. You can definitely tell that it has been a couple days since I streamed because I already forgot to not only plug the mic in, but I also forgot that not only the mic wasn't even plugged in, but to have the actual mic settings on. So I plugged it in, realizing I didn't have it plugged in, and then it was still muted. And I had the volume turned all the way down. So, all right, there we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's edition of NASCAR 07 on the channel. We are Craftsman Truck Series racing again here this evening. It's our 7th to last race of the season in the race for the championship for the running to the Fort Worth 400 at Texas, 400 kilometers, 250 miles for today's race. This is going to be a fun one because Texas was a thriller. Yes, Texas was a thriller. You heard me right. In our first race here earlier this season, it was a 50% race, but we did end up finishing in the 8th place position. We qualified 7th for tonight's race, so we're starting right around there. I had one of the quicker trucks at the very beginning of the race, probably a top 3 truck. Tough to tell if I had the quickest truck in the field or not. Then we ended up getting damaged, and we kind of fell back and ended up running right around 15th for the rest of the day. But then on the final stop, I went fuel only, leapfrogged into the top 10. Got a good finish out of it. Didn't really lead too many laps in that race. Hopefully things go well here today. We are coming off of a doubleheader last week where we ran two 50% races on the same stream. First one at IRP, led all 100 laps from the pole, got the win. Second race, Homestead, started at the rear of the field, no practice or qualifying, ended up finishing 3rd. Pretty solid run, led a couple of laps in that race. I think I led 8 laps total, so not much, but enough to get 5 bonus points. We had a fast truck, but Bill Lester, who had the dominant truck of the day, led the most laps, ended up getting his first win of the season. Now he's up to 4th in the standings. It is a 116-point lead for ourselves going into this race. We did just take the points lead because Ron Hornaday, in that second race of our doubleheader last week, blew an engine while he had a 16-point lead going into the event. So we ended up coming out with a pretty massive points lead because of the engine failure from Ron Hornaday. We'll see if Hornaday can back up a good performance today. I do remember him finishing outside the top 10 in the first Texas race, so we'll see. Might have some struggles for both championship competitors today, but qualified 7th. Here we go. No practice for this one. Just kind of went into qualifying. The truck is going to be similar handling as it was last time. It's going to be fast. It's going to be edgy. And this is a very fast mile-and-a-half race track, especially this time period in NASCAR. Green flag is in the air. We are underway racing at Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series tonight. And not a great start for Todd Bodine. Trying to get back down to the bottom lane. Barely gets down in front of Eric Crocker on the backstretch. Took a little bit to get going there as Bodine lost 3 positions on the opening lap of the race. Didn't make any mistakes, but the truck was very slow on the takeoff. Everybody kind of formed around him cleanly. Ron Hornaday started in that 10th place position. He got by both Bodine and another truck very quickly. This is a very difficult racetrack to pass on, as I'm sure a lot of us NASCAR fans are very aware. And because of the fast speeds and how twitchy these EA Sports games tend to be, very little contact could cause an accident. And that's why we ended up having ourselves in a bit of trouble in our first Texas race this season. Eric Darnell leads the opening 2 laps of the race in the 99 truck for Roush Fenway Racing. Big run off turn 2 here for Bodine. Gets to the inside of Hornaday, and the championship leaders are running side by side. A little bit of contact between the 2 trucks. Bodine went up the hill getting into the corner, overdrove the entry a bit. Very fortunate not to cause an accident there. And now Bobby Hamilton to the lead as he got 5 bonus points. He did lead that last lap at the line. And Eric Darnell's already slipped back a couple positions. Hornaday a little loose off turn 2, but he does steer clear of the 109 truck. Bodine going to follow into the 9th place position. Hornaday's crowding Bodine quite a bit off the exit of the corners. We had quite a few cautions in that first Texas race earlier this season too, and I'm curious if we're going to see more of the same. Off of turn 2. Again, Bodine to the inside of Hornaday. A much bigger run this time than what he had the last time. And as they get into turns 3 and 4, he's going to clear the 33. 6 races left in the championship hunt after today's race completes. Bodine to the inside of Bobby Hamilton. Little leanage. What a drive by Todd Bodine to quickly get inside the top 5. Darnell hits the wall off of turn 2 as he got a bit tight. Once the 30 truck got in front of him. Hans Good, I believe, is going for the lead. Now, this is a driver to watch out for. He was on a hot streak before the last 2 races. He actually had 2 engine failures. Not the last 2 races. Homestead, he had a good finish. But the 2 races before that, back-to-back DNFs with engine failures at Watkins Glen and IRP. He was running inside the top 10 of both races. In fact, he was leading at Watkins Glen when he blew an engine. He had won 3 of 5 races leading into that Watkins Glen race. And now he's already leading in the early going of this race today. The driver who won the first Texas race this season was Hans Good, so he may be the favorite here in this one. He had the speed, and today, looking to have the speed and now the early track position. Timothy Peters, late dive to get to the bottom of the track in the middle of 1 and 2. Peters going down to the bottom now, looking for second place on the backstretch. Bodine's got to run. Peters going to continue to block. Bodine going to go up the track a little bit there as he overran the entry to the corner. Bodine still battling. Side draft in the 105 truck. He's not willing to give up that battle. I do like Texas on this game. It's fast. The truck is edgy, but the racing is really, really fun. Now the 105 throwing big blocks in contact with the 187 up into the wall. Both trucks go, and that will give the clearance for Bodine to get to third. Well, that couldn't have worked out any better for Todd Bodine in trying to pass 2 trucks in the same corner as they make contact with one another. 10 laps in. Still caution free. Wade Selinsky, Joe C., Matthew Dorter Bruno, Seth Thomas, Willie Wonka, Philip Moore, and others. Welcome into the stream, by the way. Peters is putting a lot of pressure on Hans Good for the race lead right now. If they can get side by side, that could help Todd Bodine try to close that gap a little quicker. Yeah, that does stink. They didn't have any night races like they did in the earlier EA games. Like Night Martinsville, Night, Talladega was always a fun one. I don't think they had Night Talladega for the NASCAR 06 game either. They had Night Martinsville. Rowdy Fan 8, thanks for tuning in. Like Texas as a track for NASCAR? No. Yeah, not really. Although I didn't think the truck race was that bad at Texas a few weeks ago, or about a month ago now. The ending got pretty sloppy the last 20 laps, so that's kind of like almost every truck race, but most truck races. I'd say 80% of the truck races nowadays, there's a bunch of crashes in the final 20 laps. Doesn't matter what track they're on. Clean pass for second, by the way, for Todd Bodine to get by Timothy Peters. He's quickly looking to get after Hans Good for the race lead. Can he do it? Not going to be an easy pass. Trying to force Hans into a mistake. Never happened there. In fact, Todd Bodine was the driver who went up the hill as he makes a mistake. I think Good also got the wall. Both the top two have a light scrape of the wall in turns 3 and 4. Timothy Peters trying to charge on back there at third still. Bodine can't get his truck to rotate to the bottom of the track once he got behind Good. I mean, I don't think Texas is a great racetrack. It's probably the worst on the NASCAR schedule, but even bad tracks could have good races from time to time. And I honestly kind of liked that truck race there a few weeks ago. Up until the last 20 laps. It was hard to pass, but drivers were able to make it happen, and I think a lot of it is because of how aggressive the truck field is, though, too. Maybe you wouldn't see that as much in the Cup Series just because guys are maybe less aggressive. Especially with it being a playoff race, I feel like a lot of drivers are going to be more cautious. Unless you're not in the playoffs and you have nothing to lose, but... Todd Bodine cannot get by Hans Good. Gets to the inside of him this time, trying to side draft the 180. Now he got underneath him. He does not lead that lap. Door to door as they enter turn one. Man, these guys are going at it. Hans Good is just so strong on these mile-and-a-halfs this season. All three of his wins have come on mile-and-a-halfs. Bodine clear for the lead in 3 and 4. Question is now, can he pull away? 5 bonus points for Todd Bodine leading his first lap. It took Hans Good a handful of laps to get to the lead. So Bodine not too terribly far behind in the laps led category. Mark DeMars, thanks for tuning in. I just have a feeling it is going to be an absolute duel between Hans Good and Todd Bodine today. Good going to the inside for the race lead. Bodine up on the outside. Still digging. Side drafts the 180 truck, getting into 3 and 4. We got to be careful clipping that apron here. What a battle. Can't clear him off turn 2 yet. Bodine sliding up a little bit, trying to make sure he takes Good's line away. Good off the wall, off turn 4. Bodine got a little loose. Led that lap at the line, but Hans Good quickly got it back. Battle for the race lead. These guys are going to end up using their tires up, though. They keep battling like this. It's amazing Timothy Peters couldn't even keep up. I don't think he's in third anymore. It's quite a big battle back there for that third place position. There was a lot of contact getting into the corner, and Bodine almost goes up on his lid. Drove up the wall a little bit. Hans Good crowded Todd Bodine when Bodine was more than half a truck length clear, getting into turns 3 and 4. Definitely didn't need to run the 30 truck that aggressively. And that was a pretty significant impact with the outside wall. We do stay green, but that may hurt the handling of this 30 truck even more. We're 25 laps in. We had 3 pit stops in a 50% race here, which was only 67 laps the first race because it was a 200-mile race, which would have been the full distance. Forgot you guys. I never forget you guys. I didn't stream the last couple days, but Marvin Sheth, by the way, in third. I see Hornaday in fifth. Overall goal if you're Ty Bodine. Gotta think championship. You got a 116-point lead. It's not a lock by any means, with still 7 races to go, especially, but not even a full race ahead. You just have to stay within close proximity of Ron Hornaday. If you could beat him, obviously, that'd be even better, but even if you finish a position or 2 behind him for the next 7 races, he'll still win the championship, especially in the sake right now where Hornaday hasn't led a lap in this race. Bodine has led a couple. It's enough for 5 bonus points. It's going to take an awfully long time, though, just to get right back up to Hans Good. .4 seconds off the race lead is Todd Bodine right now. Just taking some mental days, that's all. I don't want to get like too into detail with it, because I just don't feel like doing that. I don't think this is like the time or the place, but just taking some mental breathers for a couple days. I miss you guys, though. Anytime I'm not streaming, for sure. I mean, this is definitely the highlight of my day. Just, I mean, some of it could be a little bit of burnout, but I don't really think it's that. Not in an instance like Monday where, you know, maybe yesterday, working 10 hours, you know, physical labor job, and then, you know, coming here, streaming for a couple hours, you know, every now and then. That tends to get exhausting. Mike George, thanks for tuning in. But that's also why I didn't put the streaming schedule up, because I wasn't sure exactly what day I was going to feel, you know, up for coming back. But I did want to get, you know, one video game stream out for you guys this week, knowing that the triple headers coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Throwback Thursday live stream, you know, tomorrow. I do have some plans. I am going to make up the Kansas Throwback Thursday. We did attempt that on Thursday last week, but it got copyrighted and taken down literally 11 minutes into the stream. So we're going to attempt to try to watch the 2001 Kansas race tomorrow on the channel, and then we're going to do a Darlington doubleheader on Friday. So truck race will be at 7:30 for live commentary, and then we'll have a Throwback Thursday live stream at 5 in the evening from a classic Darlington race. So you guys get back-to-back Throwback Thursdays, I guess, this week. The missed one last week. That I will put a community tab post in as soon as I can. Bodine's slowly catching Hans Good. Little by little. This 180 truck's just so fast. Like I mentioned already, 3 of his 3 wins, all 3 of them have come on 1.5-mile racetracks. And one of them was at Texas earlier this season in a 50% race where he led the most laps and won the race. He's already led the most laps in the early going of today's race, despite not qualifying on the pole. Tom Bodine going to look to try to make a pass on him. Way up the hill went Bodine there. Right rear already in the yellow in the tire wear indicator. I don't even think we're halfway through the fuel run yet. That's what's scary about already having this much tire wear this early in the run. Jackson Thomas, thanks for tuning in. Bodine going low. Side drafts the 180. Side by side for the lead. Bodine got to clear him. Not quite. Now, last time we were in this situation, Good really hung on that right rear corner panel of Todd Bodine. This time he wasn't as aggressive with the side draft, and it gave Bodine a little bit of room to be able to make the clearance. And Todd Bodine leads once again at Texas. That's good to the inside. Almost there, at least. I thought for a moment he might have been underneath that left rear corner panel of Todd Bodine, but not quite. Having a tough time trying to turn to the bottom with the damage on the right side of it. Both rear tires in the yellow now on the tire wear indicator, as well as the right front. Tires are cooking on this sturdy truck. Oh man, sorry for your loss. Wish you well, Jackson. There we go. Door to door. Oh, this is aggressive side draft game today. He held on to the lead. I don't know how he did. I thought we side drafted him enough that I was going to be able to at least be on the bottom still going into the corner. You would imagine if we get into green flag pit stops, it's going to space these two apart a little bit. They have been at each other's throats this whole race. And for the most part, it's been clean other than that one instance where they made slight contact with one another. Bodine not wanting to give up the bottom this time. He got aero loose off the exit of the corner. He slides, pancakes the inside wall now. And he will lose the lead again. Down on the apron of the racetrack before finding some clean air to try to get back up on the racetrack a little bit. So he took the race lead away with a clean pass. Hans Good never touched Todd Bodine, but he was sliding forever off of turn 2 after getting aero loose. Good took the air off the rear spoiler of the race truck. The tires are wearing out quite a bit at this point in the run, obviously. And Bodine trying to not have this next truck behind him take the air off the rear spoiler. So now he's hit the inside wall and the outside wall with some decent impacts. Not optimal by any means. Still waiting to see if this is going to be a 1 or 2 stop race. Once I find out it's a 2 stop race, I'm going to consider short pitting, but we haven't even gotten to the halfway point on fuel yet. And we're probably looking like this is going to be just a 1 stopper. Which is why Todd Bodine does not want a short pit. Clean air, the truck handles fine. It's just dirty air, it's too tight. And obviously, you know, you got a truck right behind you on that rear bumper, and it likes to get loose. It's kind of tough when you're battling both of those conditions to try and fix both. You're usually going to be able to fix one of them, and it only further amplifies the other. Oh, God. I'm trying to read the chat. Truck is so edgy tonight. Every time that happens, we scrub off just a little bit more speed in the truck overall itself and the lap time. Appreciate that comment, by the way, Mark. Yeah, ever since we had that big loose moment a couple of laps ago with Good right on the back bumper of Bodine, Bout had it completely saved, and I think we would have only lost the lead if I just had gotten loose. And I did a great job not overcorrecting it, though. That truck could have easily had snapped back to the right as far sideways as it was. So I just kind of had to let it come down the track. It is not, it is getting bad. Like, very bad. Ha! Even on the straightaways. Holy Lacia. This thing's all over the place. I can't. I can't. We gotta bring it in. Loose is fast if he can hang on to it, and I just can't hang on to it anymore. I was just trying to let those guys go. I was in the third lane, though. I couldn't get it down the track. Honestly, if I didn't have that big-time loose moment with Hans Good, I don't think the truck would be this bad. We gotta bring it in. Alright, well. Top off on fuel. Put a half a round of wedge in. We're going to take 2 pounds of air pressure out. So slight wedge adjustment. Slight air pressure adjustment. And it's a gradual air pressure adjustment. Oh, Kevin Harvick? That's pretty cool. Being his final season. So Tom Bodine going to be a lap down, and the good news is he's the only truck 1 lap down. If we would get a caution right now, he would get the free pass. Probably looking at everybody only pitting once in today's race, though. Yeah, they're not complete saves. The wall's been saving me most of the time. It gets really sideways. I mean, honestly, even with those adjustment changes, it still feels a little off. I think the damage is already kind of taking a toll. All it took was 2 hits. One to make it a little bit off, and then the second one really did it in. Still caution-free, though. We had a lot of cautions in our first Texas race, and it was only a 50%er. I think we had like 5 yellows. But today, we haven't had any, and we've already ran 67 laps, which was all the distance the first race was. Strange that that race was... We're going to hit the wall. I clipped the apron. That was on me that time. That was terrible. Clipped the apron and just shot the truck straight up the hill. Hans Good, 180 truck is leading right now. Good news is Hornaday hasn't led a lap. Bad news is he's in the top 5 and Bodine's having some struggles. He's got fresher tires than anybody else in the field, so he's trying to get a little bit of an advantage out of this. It's not really going to matter, though. I mean, we're going to need a caution at some point. Still have a little over 100 to go, so it's not impossible. We're going to need a caution while we're in the free pass position right now, or I'm going to need a caution after everything cycles through. I mean, either way, I'm going to be at the back of the pack because I'm going to have to pit by myself under caution. I think the sooner the caution comes out, the better, because then I can pit again. And then I can, like, split the rest of the race in half, so I don't have to push it as far on tires. That'd probably be the most beneficial thing to happen. Because as of right now, I'm going to have to run long and just hope we get a yellow. Between now and then, it's going to be a little bit for anybody goes a lap down. All 36 trucks still on the track, no engine failures. Sorry, 1 engine failure. 35 trucks on track. I didn't see the truck pull off, but obviously Bodine's in 35th, so somebody else has had some sort of an issue. Turner, thanks for tuning in. Hans Good trying to get his 4th win of the season on another mile and a half. We still have a couple more mile and a half racetracks left yet. Atlanta, Las Vegas. I believe those are races 16 and 17. Hornaday's been really good on the super speedways and the short tracks, I've noticed. We still have a trip yet to Martinsville and then Talladega to finish the season. Ted Musgrave has an issue. He's just blown a motor, it looks like, down the back straightaway. He is very slow all of a sudden. And Musgrave is going to drop out of the race. That'll be another position for Todd Bodine. 116-point lead. Bodine mathematically could still lose the championship lead in this race alone. And based off of where he's running right now, obviously things are not going well for him. Ill handling on that opening fuel run in this race. It was good for about 30-35 laps, then it really fell off after that. Progressively, and then when it got bad, it got real bad. Now he's got side-by-side traffic in front of him. He has nowhere to go. Boxed in a little bit still. Get by the 107. I think this is the second race in a row that... No, it was IRP. IRP. Oh, one truck up the track. Really tight all of a sudden in the middle of the corner. 131. Eric Darnell's falling way back in the pack after leading laps early in the day. And we've got somebody else blowing up now. Oh, that was a lot of contact. Oh, trouble! Backstretch. Nowhere to go. Into the back of David Ragan. Ragan's going to slide back up into the traffic, and we've got a caution. Heavy damage on the 30 truck. Around goes David Ragan for our first caution of the race. Heavy damage on Todd Bodine's race truck. They were wrecking on the backstretch. It looked like everybody saved it. Bodine tried to split the gap without lifting, which was not a great idea, and he ARCA braked it right into the back of David Ragan, spun him back into traffic going into turn 3, and we have a caution for the first time today. Everybody's going to pit, and I don't know if they're within the fuel window to make it to the end of this race or not, but we'll end up finding out here. I would like to think this is the free pass for Todd Bodine, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure. Gonna put another half round of wedge into it, and we're gonna drop the air pressure 2 more pounds, so another adjustment here for Todd Bodine, really trying to tighten this bad boy up. I think Heinz Good's gonna lose the race off pit road. A lot of damage repair on this 30 truck. Contact coming out of the pits. Doesn't matter though, even though we didn't technically gain any spots. Going to be at the back of the field, but we are back on the lead lap. That's the good news. Bad news is back on the lead lap, but we're at the tail end of it. Bobby Hamilton won the race out of the pits. He'll be the new leader. Second time he's led today. Lap 72 restart gives us 96 laps to go. But I would not be surprised if these guys can make it on fuel all the way to the end of the race. And the main reason is because of how big the fuel window is in the truck series in this game. It's not impossible. Caution. Debris, I do believe, our second caution of the race. And this one's on Eric Darnell in the 99. One par on the par 3 14th. Yeah, par 3s have been kind of my strong suit this year. I don't know what's going on. My par 5s are atrocious. Like, even the short ones, I'm making them long. That tells you anything. It's like the ones that are gettable in 2, like I'm hitting a bad shot somewhere in there that there's no chance for me to get there in 2. Whether I'm like topping my second shot or just completely duffing my tee shot. Duffing in the sense like I'll like hook it so badly that I only get like 200 yards out of it. I don't know. Even the shorter ones that's at the course I play at like 460 or 450 and still can't get there in 2. $90 to go at the line. Every caution's going to allow these guys to save fuel a little bit more. Time after time after time. Todd Bodine does not take off well in the restart, so that was even before all the damage to the truck initially. He's still in relatively clean air where he's at right now. When he gets into traffic, we're really going to get a feel for how the truck will handle. How tight will it be? Close to getting Harvick's autograph? That would have been pretty cool. I probably could have gotten an autograph from Ryan Blaney at the SRX race last year at Sharon Speedway. Because he was signing like out towards like this guardrail that was kind of close to like the pit area off the racetrack, like on the outskirts of 3 and 4. There was like not that many people over there. Like nobody really knew that like drivers were like congregating over there, and literally all there was like a guardrail, and there was a security guard obviously there too, but there was like 5 people waiting there. And I don't know, like I am a fan, but I don't really like fanboy out. Like I really want to keep things like as professional as I possibly can, so that way down the line, like, you know, I could be in a situation where I'm like potentially interviewing them down the road or something like that. So I don't want to like, you know, ask for an autograph for that reason or a picture. I mean, I took a video of it, of like him giving, you know, other people autographs. By the way, I was not trying to make contact all the way through the corner like that. Made slight contact, just got glued to the 135. Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize I was underneath the 98. Poor Aaron Crocker. That got the truck a little loose with that contact with Crocker, which is not good for Todd. Trying to find a way to drive through the field. Definitely not going to be easy. A lot of laps still to go, and if you have to go to the end on these tires, I don't have a good feeling about it, I'll tell you that much. Even with the multiple adjustments we've made. Just got to try to salvage a good finish out of this as best as we can. If there's a near wreck in front of us again, we gotta miss it. Field's still tightly bunched together after those back-to-back cautions. 26 got blocked middle of the backstretch and got held up as a result. Todd Bodine going to get underneath. David Reagan, a rival of Bodine after he got turned, getting into turn 3 off the 30 truck. I'd be mad if I was him too, because I did not lift at all. Wasn't trying to wreck him, obviously, because it did quite a bit of damage to the front of this truck, but... Oh my goodness! How did we miss that? Oh my gosh. I spammed through the replay. I didn't mean to spam through the replay. How did we miss that? Oh my god. They were wrecking it before I ended up like getting into the back of the truck in front of me. And then kind of got shot back down to the bottom. I should have pitted there just to put fresh tires back on it again. Green flag back in the air. Lap 90 on the restart. My goodness. I got clipped, but I didn't actually like get clipped up the track into the wall or anything. I think we're okay. Oh, come on, truck. Don't get aero loose. Turn 2, we've seen a couple of trucks have issues, obviously, and that's definitely Calamity Corner. Bodine clipped the apron. Luckily, he cleared the 107 truck. Was able to feed it out towards the wall. Ashton G, thanks for tuning in as well. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream. Bobby Hamilton Sr. has led since all the restarts have taken place. Caution. Debris, maybe? Yeah, debris off the 128. Our fourth caution. 4 yellows all of a sudden here in the second, or right around halfway into the second half of the race. I'm going to pit again. Obviously, track position, I think, is vital with how difficult it is to pass here, but I just want to make sure I'm going to have grip to make it to the end. It looks like everybody else pitting, too, so it is going to be 2 stops. So it's a good thing we're pitting. 4 tires and fuel. I don't think we make any adjustments to this race truck. Yeah, I don't think we can. Final stop of the day, I do believe, right here, right now. 4 tires and fuel will be upcoming for Todd Bodine. Yeah, cautions are definitely breeding cautions. All it took was 1. Now, David Reagan was just ahead of us. I don't think we really gained or lost spots on pit road. I think we kind of maintained. I'll take that. Honestly, because I was about to pit thinking I was going to, guarantee lose positions, but I actually gained a couple spots. I think we gained 4 spots on pit road, go from 26th to 22nd for the restart. Green flag back in the air. 164 truck will lead the field to the green. And with it being a single file restart here, Todd Bodine trying not to give up any positions. Can't get up to speed well at all in this race. He's lifting down the backstretch. He's going to try to get to the bottom as quickly as he can. You got to be committed now. Another truck trying to slide underneath him. Not quite going to happen. 70 laps. 71 technically is what you're going to have to go on these tires to the end of the race. Got to be committed. I think those 2 trucks just behind Todd Bodine there got into one another, and that allowed Bodine to clear the truck that he had on his outside. So now Bobby Hamilton isn't even leading anymore. Turn 2. Such a narrow exit. And when we see trucks side by side, we've seen some near issues, or issues, a lot of the times today. .191 right in front of us. I thought it might have been Scott Legacy Jr. for a second, but it was not. Guess his truck would say Hemi on the back of it, not Dodge. Even though he is in a Dodge. Marvin Shett to the lead now, the 192. Have to hope the tighter conditions of this race truck are drivable if you're Todd Bodine. Got to be able to get the truck deterred going into the corner. Definitely lifting a lot earlier getting into the corner than before, especially when side by side, still making contact with Legacy, as you saw. Bodine top half of the field again, 18th, looking for a good recovery run today. Hines good, by the way, back to the lead. So the fastest truck in the field found his way back to the front. Bodine had to lift to keep it off the wall off turn 2. Still has the 191 in front of him. Just had enough straightaway speed to clear, though, going into 3 and 4. Gets back to the bottom. Just slides underneath the 134. David Reagan's moved up quite a few spots since the restart. He is moving. That 6 truck. He's going to be the toughest one to pass. Oh, boy, we're going to be 3. 3 wide, middle. I didn't think 3 wide at Texas could work. My goodness. I backed out of it, though, off turn 2. I got out of the gas because I did not feel comfortable at all there. Trying to get around this 134 for a little bit now. I can't get around him. 163 is like, screw you guys. I'm going to just go right in here and take you 3 wide, pass you both. That's exactly what he did. Bodine going to get back to 18th. Now he passed the 134 this time, though. The truck is almost too tight in traffic now. Because it is very difficult for me to actually stay underneath the truck when I get there, especially on corner entry. I'm trying to force my way in. That was a little different because I was already on the bottom of the track. It's getting into the corner from the bottom as there's a little contact with the 101. That's exactly what I was talking about right there. Oh, gosh. It's like the first Texas race. It is a handful here today. One with the deep dive getting in. Almost contact. 3 wide. Oh, there is contact on the front stretch to the outside. Todd Bodine clears both trucks to get to 17th. Getting a little tight behind the 134 in the middle of 1 and 2. Had to lift in the center of the corner a little bit extra. Trying to keep the truck off the wall by the time he was able to get back into the gas completely. Bodine looking for another pass for 16th. Just ran his fastest lap, 29.190, I believe, was that last lap. He is clear. I'm noticing turns 3 and 4 I feel fine, but off the exit of turn 2, middle to exit of turn 2 is where I'm really getting tight. Because there's a couple times I've had to burp the throttle after already getting back into the gas, thinking and feeling like the truck will stick if I just get back into the gas fully at that point. At a specific point, it just doesn't stick. Man, touch that white line a little bit. This 191 truck's been right there with Todd Bodine every step of the way, too. Whether I'm getting passed by trucks, he's like right there behind me, or I'm passing trucks, he follows me right back past him. Might be faster than me, that might be some of the problem. Dropped to 29.150. So I think the truck with these adjustment changes is definitely quicker because I was not running this quick earlier. So it's nice to know that we've made the right adjustments. I just hope that we could sustain this kind of speed and still hold our tires on for 71 laps. That's what I'm really scared about. True Assassin 86X, thanks for tuning in. $29.029. I get into a 28-second lap at Texas. That's ridiculous. In the truck series, nonetheless. Not the Cup, the truck. Todd Bodine back in the top 15. Honestly, for a little bit, I was kind of doubting myself getting back into the top 10 on this green flag run. Currently, as we run, it feels as if it is not impossible to get back in the top 10 here before the end of this race. Enough laps left, and honestly, with Bodine running some of his quickest lap times of the race in the last handful of laps, if and only if his tires can hold on, can there be a way that he could actually get a contention to win this race? Hans Good's really quick, though, and him having the clean air pulling away right now is going to be tough. Bodine. Up to 13th with David Reagan right in front of him, and Reagan may try to take a shot at Todd. Oh, one truck just fired it off underneath Bodine getting into 3. He was trying to get underneath the 6. Somebody else got underneath. Bodine couldn't hold the outside. Still stuck on the top. Problem is he gave up the bottom. Truck underneath him's there still. Todd Bodine got a good run off turn 2. Surprised he didn't get tight that time. It gets back to the inside into 3 and 4. Contact with David Reagan. Oh boy. Trading a little paint there. Don't let him get back to me. I think we're quicker than him, so I'd like to think we could drive away from him. Sometimes you just gotta force your way through. Guess you hate yourself, bought NASCAR 21 just to see how bad it is. It's bad. Especially if you're on like the original version of the game, that's even worse. .4 seconds off the race lead from Hans Good right now is Todd Bodine. .166 that last lap. Picked up a little bit from the few laps he ran prior. Another truck just blew an engine. That is not a position, though. It was already somebody. Oh, trouble! Off turn 4. Just escaping by to the inside was Todd Bodine. He's up to 8th. Timothy Peters, and I think there was a fantasy driver that got into his left rear as they were getting off the corner. Honestly, as tight as my truck is, I'm surprised I didn't run into the back of anybody into the outside lane there off the exit of the corner. They all went to the wall. No caution, though. We stayed green, which is maybe better for Todd Bodine because he gets the spots. He doesn't have to play defense on a restart with not getting up to speed quite as quick. Some of the other drivers in the field. Got really tight in the middle of 1 and 2 again. Gotta stay dialed in. Pretty even with the race leader that last lap of Hans Good. Side by side with the two trucks up in front of Todd Bodine. This could allow him to try to close in on that battle for 6th. Two tenths quicker that time than race leader Hans Good. But will the tires hold up to the end? That is a big question. It has to go 71 laps from the last restart. And as of right now, we still have 42 to go at the line. There is a lot of laps left in this race. Not even halfway through the tire stint. Truck is already tight. Another tenth quicker than Good. Back and forth again. That battle for 6 continues on. Yeah, you're right. Finishing ahead of Hornaday is priority number 1. I think he's in 5th up there. It is doable all of a sudden. Scared the way the race started, caution free for so long in the position I was in, having to pit early on that first run that we were going to get a caution. Now we've gotten maybe a little too many for our strategy's sake. I just needed the 1. Oh, truck in the wall hard off turn 2 behind Todd Bodine. Looking low off turn 4, gets to the inside of the 136. And as they're door-to-door on the front stretch, getting into turns 1 and 2, little contact. That contact kind of slowed Todd Bodine down a little bit. 39 to go at the line. Can't get the rotation he needs. Kind of frustrated being this close to this truck. Got underneath him once. Just can't make the pass. There we go. Now Bodine got underneath him off turn 2. Door to door down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. And he'll clear him for 6th place. That right rear tire starting to wear out a little bit on the 30 truck of Todd Bodine. .9 seconds off the lead. I mean, it could be possible the tires could be in the red on the tire wear indicator right at the end of this thing. The way things are looking right now. I'm almost curious if we do get another caution if everybody made pit for the sake of the tire fall off. Maybe not so much fuel. Now the right front's starting to go away on the 30 a little bit. Backpedal the middle exit of turns 1 and 2 that time. Really don't like the way the tires are falling off. 10th slower that last lap than good. Hornaday's still up there at 5th, but he's so close to the battle for 2nd. I'm scared the truck behind me is going to get too close to me and take the air off the rear spoiler of the truck again. That's what I'm really starting to get scared for. Especially with the truck not handling quite as well as it did at the start of the run. Come on. Nope. Nope. Make a little block down the backstretch that time. A lot better through 3 and 4. Turns 1 and 2, the truck's super tight. 3 and 4, it's fine, and it was actually pretty fine through 1 and 2 this time, but I could just feel the truck just shoving towards the wall off turn 2 every corner. Sometimes I have to lift, and sometimes I don't. Lap times are definitely falling off. Still 29 laps left at the line this time by. Four positions within sight ahead of Todd Bodine right now. One of them is the driver he is competing for against the championship, or I should say against in the championship, and that would be Ron Hornaday, who is in 5th right now. It looks like Hornaday to the inside. Another truck trying to get to 4th. He's going to be clear. Marvin Sheth moved up in the center of the corner, and I thought Hornaday was going to get underneath him too, but he did not. Off turn 2, Hornaday to the inside of Marvin Sheth. So Hornaday starting to pick up some spots late in the race. Still door to door all the way through 3 and 4. Hornaday pushing hard, trying to get into 3rd. Hornaday went wide, and now he might lose 4th place. Fall back to 5th again. 5 points per position for every spot gained in the top 5. Hornaday trying to cut that points lead under 100 if he can. Now, Todd Bodine has 5 bonus points in this race. Ron Hornaday does not. Bodine led in the first 30 laps before the tires fell off in that first run and put him back in traffic a little bit, and he just hasn't been able to get that track position back since. But he did lead a handful of laps, so he's got bonus points that Hornaday doesn't. Back at fourth, Hornaday continues to go for fourth. Underneath another truck. Bodine overdrove 1 and 2. Lost a little bit of ground. Somebody's caught up to the truck, the 136 that was running behind us. And they've just passed them too. They might be quicker than Todd Bodine. I think in this situation, you're almost willing to give up a couple spots if you're Todd Bodine. You don't want to, but gotta save the tires. With 23 laps left in this race yet, they're still going to burn off quite a bit. Hornaday's constant battle for fourth, though, is not only slowing him and the truck he's battling with down a little bit, and allowing Bodine to catch up, and they're losing the trucks in front of him, so that's less positions Hornaday's going to be able to potentially gain to the end of this race. The way things are running right now. Oh boy. Touched the apron, had a little skirt there. Truck definitely bottomed out a bit. Left front went into the yellow in the center of the corner. It's almost like it grabbed and pulled the truck towards the apron a little more. 21 laps to go. It definitely feels a little bit more free. Like, it's still tight middle off in turn 2. But then when I get to the flatness of the straightaway, it really frees up. Like, a lot. And it turns in a lot more free, too. On the entry into the corner. 20 laps left. That hit's not going to help. Bodine's got some company with the 191 truck. This is the truck that was kind of following him up through the field there for a little bit. He's going to let him go into turns 3 and 4. Oh, he tried to let him go, and he still turned down a little early and made contact up into the wall. Fallen. Truck's too free. The fact that I wasn't even able to go 50 laps into that first run earlier, we've already gone more than that right now. Just over 50 laps into this run on these tires. Truck up in front of Bodine almost got into the wall. Hans Good's got a massive lead. Best truck in the field, bar none. Pretty good roll through the center of 3 and 4. It gets to the inside of the truck he may be battling with for 7th. Could really hold the momentum, though, down the front stretch. 15 laps to go at the start-finish line this time by Todd Bodine, trying to run competent laps to keep from falling back too far. He's got a decent gap back to the 9th place truck behind him. He's almost kind of hesitant to pass this 136 just because the dirty air that could be put on the rear spoiler of this race truck. Leafs up 2-0. And we were 2.9 seconds back in the lead this run. We've fallen back to 5.2, way up the hill. It's like I'm driving on air. That's how floaty the truck feels. Down to 12 and a half laps left on the backstretch. I can stay close to 136. I'm going to try to time it to get around him on the last lap so I don't have to deal with him trying to take the air off the rear spoiler of the race truck. Get another position out of it. Finished 8th at Texas in the first race. I think we're fit for about an 8th place finish here. We just don't have the long run speed. Speed/handling. Hornaday up there battling still for about 4th. As Todd's lost a couple positions. Probably doesn't even really see him out of the rear view anymore. This thing's all over the place. Laps left. I will say when I was stuck behind him, truck was loose, but it would tighten up so much in that dirty air bubble that it didn't want to turn anymore. And then when I was up into the outside lane, then the rear tires would slip after I was up there already. Definitely a better handling truck in clean air. I'd say it's more loose on the front stretch than what it is in the corners. Yeah, I don't like that. It is getting very loose. Oh, come on, truck. Not on the straightaway. Wow. Well, we lost out on the top 10 now. It's looser down the straightaways than what it is in the corners. I'm not even trying to play defense. I'm just trying not to wreck the truck and risk losing even more spots. 7 to go. 12 seconds off the lead. Definitely need this to play green to the finish. Truck is too ill handling right now. Cindy Duncan, thanks for tuning in. Right rear tires in the red. Just go, go. David Reagan was going to turn us if he got to us too, and I was already loose. Wouldn't have taken much. Gosh, there's still 5 laps left. It's going to be a long 5 laps. Timothy Peters now to the inside. Another scrape into the wall. It was so tight in the center of the corner in the dirty air behind Peters, and then it gets loose the closer it gets to the exit. It's absolutely insane. I knew 71 laps was going to be too long on these tires. 60 laps, I probably would have been okay. We would have ended up finishing 8th, but... now we're just going too far into the run. I might get aero loose here. Eric Darnell's right on the back bumper of the 30. Yep. Yeah, I definitely got aero loose. God bless America. Caution. Was trying not to wreck it. Contact with Eric Darnell. And that's going to set up a green-white checker at the front of the field. Man, that stinks. I tried. It was just way too loose. Second time that happened today. See if everybody else is going to pit, though, too. I don't know if they will or not. No, they're not going to. I have to. My tires are shot. Have to pit. Oh, man. I mean, could have had at least a top 20. We just could have made it those last 3.5 laps. 2.5 laps. I think the caution came out, what, lap 165? Backstarts had 2.5 laps. Hans Good gonna have to survive for a restart. Can't tell, but it looks like Bill Lester may be in second place behind him, trying to go for back-to-back wins as Lester. Green flag back in the air. 32nd. Oh, this is going to be the end of the race. We are not going to get a green-white checker. And this race is going to finish under caution. Well, now I feel bad that I pitted. What the... We have not had that in this game. We usually get one attempt at a green-white checker. We did not have that attempt in this race for some reason. This is the only race that we've had that situation where we didn't get a restart. Not even one attempt, and I lost like 13, I was 19th when I wrecked. If I would have not pitted, we would have finished 19th. Instead, we finished 32nd. Tying our worst finish of the season. Hans Good gets his 4th win of the year. Leads 126 of 167 laps today. 26 lead changes, 5 cautions. 141.8 miles per hour average race speed. 1 hour, 45 minutes, 59 seconds. Total time on the race. Margin of victory, 0.2 of a second. Ron Hornaday finished 6th. And we led 7 laps. Finished 32nd. Hornaday didn't lead any laps, luckily. Craig Kinzer, Ted Musgrave, Wilson Eubanks, Clausen, all DNF. 4 engine failures. Yeah, we didn't even get a restart. Man. Yeah, we did not need that. Well, that definitely didn't go as smoothly as the first... I mean, the first Texas race didn't go smooth either, but we at least finished 8th. This one didn't even have a chance, really, with how bad it was in the long run. All the cautions came out at once, basically, except for that final one. We ended up having like a near 70-lap green flag run before the final caution. Yeah, it's got to be a glitch. I haven't seen that on this game. Usually you get 1 restart. We've had late cautions in all 3 series so far, and we've had 1 green-white checker attempt, but that would be the rule in real life, 2006 season 2, but yeah, that stings. Michigan, Atlanta, Vegas, Martinsville, After Martinsville, we go to California and then Talladega. 2 2-mile racetracks, a super speedway, 1 short track, and 2 mile-and-a-halves. Oh yeah, I gotta mute it. You're right. I forgot. It's probably too late. I'll mute it anyway, but there's a good chance I'm gonna get copyrighted. It was playing for way too long. We'll check out the point standings with 6 races to go in the season, and I do believe we still have the points lead, but it's not going to be by much. Fortunately for myself, 4 drivers DNF'd. Helped us a little bit. 38-point lead over Ron Hornaday. Bobby Hamilton only 98 back in 3rd. It's a 3-horse race for the championship here. Hans Good with his 4th win, 6th in points right now. If he didn't have those 2 engine failures, he'd be right there. I mean, that's... Yeah, I mean, he would have left, what, 380 points on the table? He'd probably be a little, right around 100 back. Be right there, right around Bobby Hamilton in points. And with how strong he's been on the mile-and-a-halves, having 2 of them in the next 3 races still. I wonder what the 2-mile tracks. I wonder if it's like an intermediate thing where maybe he'll be fast at Michigan and California too. Have to wait and see. Hornaday's been good on the super speedways, a race winning capability on the super speedways and short tracks. He's finished 2nd to me at Bristol Martinsville. We go to Martinsville one more time. We only had Bristol the one time on the schedule. And then we go to Talladega. He did win the first Daytona race. First Talladega race, I think I finished 4th. Yeah, I finished 4th, led 13 laps. Timothy Peters won the first Dega race. Daytona finished 32nd and 30th. Led 0 laps in both races. So Super Speedway is definitely hit or miss for me. Having a narrow points lead with just 5 races before the last race, which is on a Super Speedway, it's a bit concerning, I'm not going to lie. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Throwback Thursday stream on the channel tomorrow. We'll watch the 2001 Kansas race for the NASCAR Cup Series. And then we'll watch a Throwback Thursday live stream on Friday as well for this weekend's Darlington race, and that will be before the truck race, so doubleheader on Friday. I'll have the streaming schedule out to you guys as soon as I can. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow night.